Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome back to another episode of the Scalable Law Podcast. I'm super happy that you're here today, and we are carrying on with our series that we started a few weeks ago, which is all about running your law firm remotely and the things that we need to be thinking about. So the first podcast in this series was about data security and confidentiality. So these are some of the stresses and things that we worry about when we are running remote law firms, or we're not there all the time, or we have team members that are in different places around the country or even world. The next podcast in the series is about how to overcome anxiety about team productivity and accountability. So we walked through all the steps you need to put in place to overcome the stress or worry about that and really get your team humming. Now that is a really great podcast. In fact, they both are really great podcasts, whether you're remote or whether you are not remote, because these are things that we are worrying about as law firm owners. The third podcast, and this is today's podcast, is we're talking about how as law firm owners, we often have stress about maintaining client relationships and firm reputation. This is a very real stress, not just for remote employees, but also for in-house employees as well. But honestly, with the right strategies, law firms can ensure that they uphold their standards. And I know this because I run a law firm. Half of the team, if not more, is remote. We have an office in Brisbane, an office in Cleveland, and where I'm based is the Gold Coast. I don't visit those offices. I have an incredible team, and I have a lot of things in place to ensure that I don't stress about maintaining client relationships or firm reputation. I know that this is being maintained all the time to the collective family law standard via my team. So let's get stuck into how we can overcome the stress as law firm owners. So this is a great time as well. If you haven't listened to the other two episodes, absolutely go back and listen to data security and confidentiality, and also anxiety about team productivity and accountability. Go back and have a listen to those. Today, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, or hop on your laptop and start writing, because I have got a whole lot of amazing points and steps for you to help you out in your law firm when it comes to maintaining client relationships and firm reputation. Your firm's reputation and your client relationships, you have worked way too hard as a law firm owner to ensure that your firm is exactly where it needs to be. And I know the stress that comes with thinking about handing files over to team members, handing clients over to team members, ensuring that you're still a 5-star review law firm, and all those sorts of things. When it comes to client reputation as well, just as a side note, and this isn't really about reputation around remote working, but it's still about reputation, and that is around Google reviews. I have a lot of law firm clients who are stressed, and they will go outside of their boundaries in order to maintain their client review status, even if that means letting horrible clients who refuse to pay bills and things like that get away with that behavior because of threats of bad reviews. Anyway, that's another topic for another day, but we can also learn from some of the points today and bring that in as a firm culture, which will also help maintaining very good Google reviews. Anyway, let's get stuck in. So number one, what you need to do is you need to establish clear communication protocols with your firm team and your client. So making sure that clients are receiving regular updates. Schedule regular updates every single week to make sure that they are being informed, even if there's no developments on their matter. Consistent communication channels is really going to save the day. I don't know about your experience, but my experience is that when I have received a client complaint from one of my team members, or about a team member, it is always about communication. So the way to overcome that is to establish written protocols of the expectations in terms of when clients' calls are to be returned, if nothing's happening on their matter, how often should they be updated, and all of those types of things. So these are really relevant as well when it comes to handing file work over to other lawyers in your firm. I hear a lot of fear around trusting other team members with clients. So, putting good processes in place will really help. Number 2 is to ensure that you have a high quality of service delivery. And again, to do this, you absolutely need some standard operating procedures. You need to develop standard operating procedures that will maintain consistency in service delivery, regardless if it's done remotely or in office, or regardless if it's done by you or a junior lawyer or another senior associate. That's really going to help when it comes to delivery and making sure that it's high quality and smooth. I know when it comes to hiring team members, this is the one thing that lawyers really worry about, that their team members aren't going to have that same standard or care factor that they do as a law firm owner. But let me tell you, if you have a set of standard operating procedures around delivery of your legal service, it's going to help massively. Included in ensuring high quality service delivery is that you need to have a quality control mechanism implemented. So these kind of processes, for some law firms, it is checking every document that goes out by the principal. This isn't practical as you grow. You've got your own files to run. You've got your business to run. Now you're checking files. It's too much. So you actually need to maybe do spot checking and reviewing that way to ensure that the work meets the firm's standards. That's what I would recommend as you grow, because it's just not practical to be signing off or checking every document before it goes out. Number 3 is to foster strong client relationships. And this also goes for not client relationships, but also referral relationships. So it depends what kind of law firm you have. In family law, we have clients, we have referrers, and our clients come and go quickly because they're only sort of with us for a year or so. And there's other practice areas that are the same. You're constantly looking for new clients. If you foster strong client relationships, it's going to help you with reputation management. It's going to help you get good referrals in from the word of mouth. It's going to help you to build up those connections, which is really, really important. When fostering strong client relationships, there's a couple of things that you can do. One, you can add personal touches, surprise and delight. Just because you're a law firm does not mean you can't surprise and delight. So how do you do that? It could be sending a personal message, remembering important dates, birthdays, anniversaries of starting their business, or whatever it is, depending on your practice area. Family law, it can be their kids. If you're estate planning, send out birthday cards, all of those kind of things. You can also send out thank you referral gifts. That's a really great way as well. So, if they refer you a client, don't forget to say thank you. That can help foster those strong relationships too. And also don't forget to ask for client feedback. So, you can ask for that through questionnaires. You can ask for that directly. You can also ask that people leave Google reviews for you. So number 4, in maintaining client relationships and firm reputation, is to really promote a client-centric culture in your firm. I think sometimes law firms and lawyers forget that we are there for the client. And the client is really the most important thing. Their goals should be our goals. So we need to create client-centric goals and align the team and individual goals with client satisfaction and firm reputation metrics. That can really help. And when it comes to your team and training, remember that there's opportunity during team meetings or lunch and learns where you can remind team members about the importance of client focus and the importance of client satisfaction, and really encourage team members to prioritize client needs. Remember, the client is why we are here. I know that in law, clients can be difficult. What we do can be difficult, but it's the small things that go a really long way, like answering the phone, calling people back promptly, or just picking up the phone to see how they're going, even if there's no movement on their matter. I had a conversation today with a law firm owner who I've just onboarded into the accelerator program, and we talked about how people in her team don't like picking up the phone. And I think it is a little bit of a generational thing where the younger people are coming through, they've grown up on text messaging, and they struggle to actually pick up the phone. But things like just picking up the phone and having a conversation and caring for your client that way, rather than just always flicking them off a email or a correspondence that's very formal, just pick the phone up. People really appreciate it. So really promote that client-centric culture. It's going to help your firm so much when it comes to maintaining client relationships and firm reputation. Number 5 is to enhance firm visibility and authority in the marketplace. So this is so important, and a lot of law firm owners don't do it enough, but you need to put your firm and yourself out there to maintain that visibility. So online presence is more and more important today than it has ever been. And, things like having a professional website, regular blog articles, don't let your website go stale, social media to showcase the firm's expertise and successes, and really like putting fresh posts and content out there can absolutely help. Think about where your referrers are and where your clients are and post there. The other way that you can really gain that sort of reputation and brand authority is through thought leadership. So encourage your lawyers and your firm to contribute to legal publications, to attend conferences and speak at conferences, maybe participate in webinars, and start enhancing the firm as a thought leader in the industry. And that will really help as well. Visibility goes a really long way. This is the other thing about enhancing your firm and its visibility, is that when it comes to reputation management, if you're not telling the story about your firm, that it's the best firm, that you've got the best service, who else is? So don't be scared or ashamed to really yell it from the rooftops and say how amazing your firm is, because I know that your firm is, but no one else is actually going to say it. So you need to get out there and say it as well. Now, if you have struggled with this, which a lot of firm owners do, you could think about investing in something like our Legal Sidekick. So Legal Sidekick will create content for you. They will create social media for you. They will spruik your firm from the rooftops and say how amazing it is. Now, when I was starting out with my firm's brand visibility and reputation, all of that sort of thing, something that really helped me was actually me not doing it, because I would prevent myself because of that feeling of awkwardness and, I don't want to be, saying how amazing we are and all that kind of thing. So having someone else do it for you, and also see it from a different angle or a different perspective as well, because when we're in it, it can be really hard to see it for what it really is, which is that you're creating this amazing law firm that supports the community, that does so much for your team, that provides incredible legal services, and that should be shared. So if you have trouble sharing that, if you're a bottleneck on sharing that, please reach out to us and we will put you onto Legal Sidekick. It's amazing. One fee a month for unlimited social media or marketing content. Unlimited. We will do so many incredible things for you. We will post, we will plan, we will content create, we will do web fixes, you name it, we will do it. You will never ever be short of being out there. We will make sure that your firm is out there. So if you're struggling with that, definitely contact us and we will get Legal Sidekick onto it for you. So next up is monitoring and measuring performance. So it's really important that you do track your team's work, client satisfaction, case outcomes, employee productivity are some of the things that you should be tracking. Today, the law firm that I was working with, they were not tracking any of that, and they were somewhat lost because they didn't have all of that data, all those metrics and performance indicators to really tell the true story. So that's really important because then you're not in the dark. You absolutely know how the outcomes are, how your team is performing, particularly as well if they're remote and you're not able to have those conversations. You can then rely on the data and it will help you absolutely in so many ways. The other thing is to have regular reviews with your team members and making sure that the work that they do is meeting firm standards and address any issues that might be arising proactively. You can couple that, of course, with making sure that they are performing according to your clear communication protocols, so that was number one, and delivering that high service quality according to your standard operating procedures. So if you have those couple of things going, and then you're also monitoring and measuring performance, it's going to be much easier to have those staff or team conversations proactively. So next up, number 7, is to cultivate a positive firm culture. We need to have an inclusive culture, be positive and support our remote employees and encourage them to take ownership of that work that they're doing. So we can do this via having regular team meetings, keeping communication open. The other thing that we do, which is really fun in my law firm, is that we have recognition awards every month. We do this both remotely and in person. So everyone logs in, and some of us are in person. We actually have like one of those spin and win wheels, which is so much fun. We've got like 20 prizes on there. And for the few team members that have done really well that month, for whatever reason, they might have met some of those KPIs. They might have upheld some of the standards that we have. They might have got some really amazing team Google reviews. And so we recognize them and reward them with a spin on the wheel, and they absolutely love it. So it really creates fun in the firm and it creates that positivity and everyone celebrates their wins. Implementing those strategies can really, really help. So there are a few tips for you regarding maintaining client relationships and firm reputations so that you don't have to stress about them. So let's quickly run through them. Number 1, establish clear communication protocols with your team. Number 2, ensure that the delivery of service is really high, using standard operating procedures to make sure you're controlling that quality. Foster strong client relationships with personal touches and client feedback. Promote a client-centric culture. So remember to focus on the client and the client goals. Number 5, enhance your firm's visibility and reputation. Online presence is massive, and thought leadership. Number 6 is to monitor and measure performance. So those key performance indicators with your team, super important. And number 7 is to cultivate a positive firm culture, being inclusive, and also recognition such as the spin and win wheel. So there are 7 awesome things that you can implement into your firm as a strategy so that you are stressing less about maintaining client relationships and firm reputation as you are hiring new team members. If you would love to talk to me about this in person, you can absolutely do that. Book a call with me. We're taking calls. Hop onto the website, www.scalablelaw, and I'd love to hop into a strategy call with you to talk about these things in more detail and setups and strategies for your law firm. Well, it was awesome you tuning in today. I hope that you have a fabulous week ahead, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.